Yeah, hello once again. Yeah, I some fixed computer solutions here, presenting HP 250G3. Yeah, that is not powering on. If I may grab a tip here, please, to help us connect the power supply so that we can take the amperage. We get to check the amperes being drawn by this motherboard to ascertain what could be the issue. And let's go directly to it. Without wasting much time, there's a lot of work to do here today. So what is happening with this laptop? You connect it to a power supply and it's taking what? How many amperes is it taking? Is it even a matter of doing with how many? Or we check on the power supply there, we see 12 0.12. Check my power supply there, then drops again to a milliamp, a 4. It's not even that's a 4 milliamps. That's 2 literal power. Check my power supply there at the top, guys. I'm trying to present the power supply so that so you press the power button again, nothing is going to come on. The fan is not spinning. We are not having any light except the charging light at the charging port, just to indicate the charger has been inserted. And anytime you see the light on the charger, it's a good indication that we are having our 3 volts. So let's take out the back cover, guys. Let's take this back cover and get to see what's going on. Yeah, today as I was coming to work, I met a case at the highway where a very young man was lying on the road, the highway I was using. Yeah, and some people are saying the guy committed suicide. And I kept thinking about the same place where I lost one of my good friend. He was a good friend when we were studying back into the university. And today I came and tried to research on Google, and I see the rate of suicide among men is becoming a bit high. And I don't get to understand why, although I can guess a few or 3 things as to why, because the society has put too much standards on men. So guys, if you are out there and you are a man, please try to go very slow on this life. There's no day you'll ever make things happen at your own pace. Life is a zigzag line. Whatever you might be going through, please try to talk to somebody. Yeah, we have been taught that men don't talk. We are supposed to suck it up. Please, guys, don't suck it up. Talk to a fellow boys. The fellow boy is the one you trust. The guys who know is not going to take advantage of your problem, because there are people you tell an issue and they will take advantage of that issue and talk to other people, and maybe there are guys who don't know how to help guys. So let's try to be mentally sane, men. Yeah, I understand the whole expectation with the society. A man should do this, a man should do that, be it even to a woman. Guys, don't give what you don't have to a woman. Be it your wife, because as I was listening to that story, there was something to do with the marital problems with that guy. When I stopped there for just some few seconds, I heard people saying something with marital issues. Marriages have always had trouble. Yeah, it's in the Bible also. I think in the book of Corinthians, whoever marries will have a lot of trouble in this life, guys. So it's not unusual to you. Don't take it very personal. If you cannot give something, don't kill yourself over it. Yeah, some of the demands these women are going to make on you, or some, even not only women, even there are some, maybe you're trying to impress one of your brother. So I put the charger. Yeah, you'll never make anybody happy. If they are not happy, they won't get happy because you came into their life. So guys, don't kill yourself for anything. Go at your pace. Life is too short. Try to enjoy where you can. There's no happiness there where they tell you that when you reach here, you'll be happy, you'll be happy. Be happy right now. Yeah, so I thought I should touch something to do with that, so that it's good to keep raising some of these issues, because these are things which are with that society, in this society we are living. And I hope where you are, may the God, the Almighty Lord, is going to protect you and not to fall in these traps of trying to impress people with what you don't have. Please be aware, be very cautious. You cannot give what you don't have unless you steal, and you steal, you will die. So guys, going back to we are what brought us here, it's about this laptop. Let me take some voltages. Yeah, remember guys, we have talked there before, the main present rails, the main rails that are supposed to be present whether the machine is on or off. Number one, the 19 volts power rail. Number two, the 5 volts power rail. And number three, the 3 volts power rail. Those are very important rails in a laptop. They should be there whether the laptop is on or off. Let's try to remember that. So let me take you under the, maybe to see whether, or maybe should I take out this motherboard first? Yeah. So guys, as I take out the motherboard, back on the issues I was trying to talk about, the suicide rates among men, please guys, let me tell you something here, and it's even proven in the Bible. It is even in the Bible, guys. You'll never make some people happy. You'll never make, especially a lot of women, you cannot make your woman happy. Unless she decides to be happy herself, you will never make her happy. God himself tried and he failed. Yes, I said it. God himself tried and he failed. And I'll tell you why. God created Adam and later created Eve. And we are told in the Bible, he gave them everything in the world. Everything in the world. That statement underlined that everything. If today somebody comes to you and gives you everything in the world, what doesn't you have? Except one tree. God told them, I've given you everything except one tree. And we both know what this woman did. This woman called Eve. She still was not okay with everything in the whole world. She still went for that one tree, for that one fruit. Now, are you bigger than God? You think you are bigger than God that you can make somebody happy? I keep asking this question. You men, you are you there thinking to commit suicide. Are you bigger than God? Don't kill yourself for somebody. Don't ever do that. I'm saying this with a lot of, I'm very sad about it, because I've lost a friend because of suicide. A friend we have grown with. We are in the same school. We schooled during the same period, and we had a lot of good times when we were young. And he also committed suicide because of marital issues. And so this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm trying to help where I can. Some of these women are asking for you to give. Even their own fathers cannot afford. Their own fathers have not given them. I don't know where you're supposed to get that thing yourself. So let's be mindful. Let's be careful. It's very slippery out here, guys. Don't kill yourself. So back to the motherboard here. As you can see, let's try to take some measurements here under the multimeter. Check my multimeter there and the power supply on the top right corner. I've tried to present them in the best way I can, guys, as I told you before. Working on a better camera where I'll have everything under the same. I have everything here presented very well for you. I'm working on that, so don't worry. So just a minute. Let me try to Connect the charger here. Yeah, check the charger is there. Yeah, connect the charger, check the power supply. You see, it's taking 12 milliamps. We have the white light. Told you before, you see that white light, that means we have our 3.3 volts. Yeah, you see, the light is there. Yeah, the laptop is a bit dusty, guys. Yeah, now let's try to do some physical inspection as we try taking some voltages. Yeah, the charging connector, the motherboard charging connector, let's try to take a voltage there. We see whether you're having our 19 volts. Yes. Yeah, we have our 19 volts. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's okay. You can see the laptop is a bit dusty. I don't know. Like, yeah, we have our 19 volts also there. Yeah, I was talking the other day about clients don't take their laptops for servicing. The day I was talking about, yeah, applying using thermopad instead of thermopaste, and somebody got it wrong. They thought that I'm saying thermopaste is better than thermopad. No, it's only that thermopad is durable than thermopaste. And since we know that you clients don't take your laptop for service regularly, at least you'll be covered for that time you not take your laptop. But if you're the kind of guy who take your laptop regularly to the servicing, you can have your thermal paste because you'll be changing it regularly. So we are still checking on our 19 volts power rail. We are still checking on it, and we have found there, you see the trackpad coming from the charging connector to this capacitor and now to this MOSFET here, the first MOSFET, guys. Yes, we have our 19 volts on the first MOSFET. The other side of the MOSFET, we having 19 volts. We have 19 volts on the other side of the MOSFET. Now the second MOSFET, we have 19 volts. And the other side of the MOSFET, good, we have a 19 volts. So guys, after these two MOSFETs and now after this current resistor, the power flows to the rest of the motherboard. This is the first and the second MOSFET. That's very important to check for voltages, because if you don't get a voltage there, there's a closed MOSFET or a short circuit on this motherboard. A closed MOSFET is the one that is not passing power to the other side. An open MOSFET is the one that is passing power to the other side. Like in this case, this MOSFET is open. As you can see, there's power flowing from one side to the other. And this one is the first MOSFET, and this one is act like a switch, where like the power comes on the MOSFET through the gate. The gate should be higher. It will switch and open so for the current to flow on the other side of the MOSFET or through the MOSFET. So let's check on other areas, try to check our 3 volts. Remember 3 volts is also check on the multimeter. Yes, we have our 3 volts. We talked about 3 volts being the main power rail, and we have it on our E&E chip. Guys, this is also called the startup chip. Some people will also call it the KBC chip. All those names belong to this chip here. Some will also say the EC chip, the IO chip. All those are correct names for this particular chip here. So we have our 3.3 volts on this chip, as you can see also on the other side here. That's still fine. Now let's try to check this with the volts on the BIOS chip here. This is also another place where you need to check for the 3 volts. In some laptops, especially this series of 250G, 3G2, here you get 1.8, but this one I think we're supposed to get 3 volts. There are some who take 1.8 voltage on the BIOS chip. Pin number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the other side up to 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. So refer to this dot here. This pin is pin number 1 because it's adjacent to that dot, and the one behind it is pin number 8. And as you can see, we are not having a voltage on those pins. You see, we are not having our 3 volts. So now in some laptops, the voltage in pin number 8, you're supposed to have a voltage whether the machine is on or off. but not in all laptops. There are laptops where you'll find that the voltage will only come when the laptop is on. And because of that, let me try to put the laptop on, the motherboard on. We are going to check for the power button connector and try to put the motherboard on. Yeah, and here it is, as you can see, it's written there J power 1. Let me try to adjust it so that you can see for yourself. You see that label there? J power R1, JPW R1. That means that's the power button, guys. Let me adjust light. I don't know whether you'll be able to see that. I think you can see that JPWR1. So I'm going to short this the pin number 2 or the pin number 4 from the other side. The pin number 3, that is. Use the ground and touch it with the tweezer on that pin there. Look at the power supply there. Touch that pin number 3. That one, yeah. Look at the power supply there. The board is trying to power on. Now, if we try to check on the BIOS chip now, yeah, the board is taking some milliamps. It's not even half a milliamp. It's it's not even 0.5. It's below 0.5 amp, not milliamp. That's 0.5 amperes. And the laptop will go from 0.4, 0.3. Now let's try to check the BIOS chip when the laptop is on. Let's see whether you're having a voltage. Yes, we have our 3.4 there. You check on the multimeter. We have our 3 volts. Should we check on pin number 8? Unfortunately, the machine has gone off and I'm getting 1 point. That's not very good voltage on pin number 8. Also 1.61. What is wrong with this chip? I'm supposed to get 3 volts, stable 3 volts. But I'm getting something not very stable. I don't know why. Should I try to short to power on the motherboard again and see it one more time? Yeah, this is the BIOS chip, guys. One of the most important chips in a laptop, because sometimes your laptop will not be coming on and it won't be anything to do with short circuit. It won't be anything to do with a failed chip, but BIOS chip can stop. They can make the whole motherboard stop working because of the firmware. If the firmware is corrupted inside the BIOS chip, guys, you're not going to have a working machine, and that's why we program these chips here. And right now, what I'm getting from this chip, you can see I've powered on the machine again. And now am I going to get a 3 volts? Yeah, I'm getting a 3 volts on pin number 8. 3 volts is there, guys. Yeah, guys, so we are just about to confirm one more voltage, which is 5 volts. 5 volts power rail is the one. Okay, I can see 1.1. That is for the processor. That is okay. That's also for the processor. The 1.1 volt for the processor. So, sorry. We want to confirm the 5 volts. Get any USB cable, any USB port, any USB coil, any USB capacitor, any USB resistor, and try to check whether you get a 5 volts. Yeah, this is a USB. Let's try to check. So the machine is already off. So let me try to power it on and let me see whether you're having a 5 volts. 5 volts on this capacitor here, because the bigger trackpad means this is where the 5 volts is passing through. So let me short it once more time. Power on the motherboard. Yes, motherboard is on. Let's try to take the voltage on there. Oh, we have our 5 volts. You can see there, 5.19. Yeah, guys, we are concluding that we are having all the basic voltage on this motherboard. The 19 volts, the 5 volts, the 3 volts, all the basic rails are there. Now, the only thing is that some rails are only present when the machine is on, the 3 volts and the 5 volts. So what is happening? This is the RAM stick. The RAM stick here, I don't know whether you can get a voltage out of this one. This is a PC3. This is a DDR3 RAM. We should be collecting something to do with 1.5 volts from the RAM stick, since it's a DDR3. And now, guys, from the look of things, I think we should If we have all those voltages and the guys, nothing is going on here, I should first of all try to configure this chip here. I think the chip is having some issues. As you can see, the motherboard is trying to come on, but it cannot complete the process of booting on because maybe this chip is corrupted. Yeah, so when you are trying to check the motherboard for an issue, and you have all the three important power rails in a motherboard, like in this case, you have them, the 19 volts is there whether the machine is on or off. The 3 volts is there on the E&E chip when the machine is off. And the 3 volts on the BIOS chip, we are getting it when the machine is on. The 5 volt, we are getting it on the machine is on. I would only suspect this chip's called BIOS chip, that basic input output signal chip, the one I'm just about to desolder from the motherboard. Very important. Try to remember that, guys. Try to remember that. It's very, very important. So what happens if you try to flash out the BIOS chip and you're still having a problem with the machine coming on? We also, how many chips are programmed on this machine? In the earlier model like this one, the only two chips that are programmable are the E&E chip and the BIOS chip. Those are the two chips that are programmable on this machine. So we first of all try with the BIOS chip. If we are not going to get the results, now we can go to the next step, guys. And so the first thing, I'll try to get a hot iron gun and try to soften the solder. As you can see, this BIOS chip has never been worked on before, and so the solder is too tough. So you need to come up with a gun and some solder to soften the chip so that you cannot apply, you may not end up applying so much heat onto the motherboard, which can damage the motherboard. So when you have softened the solder and the pins, you can only use little amount of air, and that's it. The pin is out, or the BIOS chip is out. So let me come up with a hot gun here with some solder on it. Yeah, try to apply some solder on those 4 pins. Let it there, let them take some solder so that you can, just a little amount of solder, so that when you are desoldering this laptop, the chip, you may not end up getting applying too much heat onto the motherboard. Yeah, too much heat is not safe for the motherboard. The motherboard may bulge and you may end up losing some power rails. Some powers come from one side of the board to the other side. The power rails will go through the board to the other side. So take care take care for the motherboard not to bulge. When the motherboard bulges out, the power rails are going to get lost. Yeah, soften also these ones here as you prepare to come with some hot air. Yeah, I think we have tried to soften the solder on each and every pin. I think now it's high time we come with some hot air and plug off the chip and program it, then take it back to the motherboard. Oops, I can see a bridge here. I formed a bridge on the middle pins. Yeah, is out. I think that's fine. Yeah, so guys, as we were talking about our issue before, life is never easy to anybody. Life is never easy to anybody, including the Son of God, Jesus Christ himself. He was beaten. They wore him a cape made of thorns. They pierced him with a spear. And if a son of God can suffer, the Son of God can suffer. Who are you not to suffer? Who are you not to face challenges in this life? It is only after you understand that concept, guys, that you will see that taking out your life is not going to help anyone. Don't go for it. Don't take your life for anyone, including your own children. If you kill them, if you kill yourself now, they will be in bigger trouble. Actually, you'd rather have tried to stay alive for them. You'd have helped them in so many ways rather than when you are dead. So let's try to take care of ourselves, especially as men. And we know right now we are the endangered species. There's so many expectations for us to do this, do that, make her do this, give her this, give her that. All slogans are for the women in this country or in this world. Even at home, try to go home and try to hear your father talk about issues. Hey, tell your mother she cooks good. Tell your mother she looks nice. Tell your mother she do that. Who tells dad anything? Compare the Father's Day and the Mother's Days and see the difference. See how the Mother's Days is celebrated. I don't deny the fact that we love our mothers so much. Yeah, the relationship ought to be very strong, guys. They have us inside their womb for 9 months, so their attachments, the attachment is too strong compared to that of the dad. But let us also try to remember the man is also a human being. Let's try not to, or let's stop overburdening the male, the men or the male in the society until they come to this point of taking off their lives. Eh? It's also not good to say that the guys who are taking off their life, they are stupid guys. Before you take out your life, you first of all go to a state of not being mentally stable. So I would want you to consider that the guy will first of all become mentally unstable before they take their own life. This is as a result of not taking things easy. They over struggle with a lot of things, not talk them out, not even talk to anybody. And the last result is depression. And later the issues escalate to those hates that are not very desirable. So let us clean this place here. It's always good to have a fresh solder on any pin so that the new solder can come and try to be strong, so that we cannot have a loose connection on any pin. We need firm connection to all the pins because that will affect how the motherboard is working. If you have a loose connection, of course, you'll not be having a working motherboard because the voltage will not be stable. So let me try to take off these fabrics. I've tried to wash here and some fabrics have stuck here. I don't know what this is. They are the ones they are those one for the bird that are the for the bird that I've just used to clean this area. So let me use some hot gun to remove that. Looks like there's a wire here. I'm trying to get rid of this wire so that we may not have a short circuit on this motherboard. Yeah, and the wire is out. So let me check on so what else here? Let me go on to grab the fabrics here. Yeah, I was reading another article the other day, and I guess laptops will not be getting any cheaper with time. The way they used to say that in future the laptops will be costing very little amount. There's already a very big shortage of chips, computer chips in China. You can check that on the internet. And the shortage is not known where they are not sure when the shortage will go off. Maybe we'll be having the computer chip shortage for a very long time. So guys, Keep taking care of your laptops. I don't think laptops will become any cheaper anytime soon, guys. So let's try to take care of what we have. Yeah, take your laptop for servicing. Yeah. Partition your disk. Try to have partitions where you can store your movies, your videos, your documents, and leave another partition for the local disk C. That is the operating system for the laptop. You could be running Linux, you could be running Oracle. Okay, Oracle is so much to do with the, let's say, Linux and Windows 10. Some are running Mac OS, maybe the High Sierra, Sonoma, Big Sur, Mojave. Yeah, try to partition your disk always. So we are rebuilding the track pads for the power line BIOS chip, as you can see, so that you can have a firm grip when you are soldering back the BIOS chip, which is very important, as I talked about this before. Try to apply new fresh solder, so that you can not have a loose connection. Yes, so try to clean a little bit. Yeah, cleaning is important so that you can have a view. If the place is not very clean, you realize that you're not able to see anything under the microscope. So try to clean so that you can have a clear view. Yeah, cleanliness is secondly to godliness. Yeah, cleanliness is needed everywhere. If you can be clean in all aspects of your life, that is the best thing to have in this world. Comes at a cost. Being clean is not very easy. It's also not very cheap. It requires some effort, some resources. So let us put that chip under on the programmer. That is a programmer, as you can see down there. The programmer I'm using here to program that chip there. The ME region could be corrupted. Yeah, so that's it. So we are going to flush out that chip and have a new firmware installed on that chip and see whether that chip is going to run the motherboard and bring the motherboard back to life. So you can see the red light is already there. Watch out for the green light. As I start to program, there are supposed to be a green light on that program. I'm trying to put out tweezers so that it can be clear to use, so that you can see the green light immediately. The chip has been detected. See that flash out, and then check the green light when I start reading the chip. You see? Yeah, now the chip is being programmed. That green light there. I don't know whether you're able to see it. Sometimes under the camera it's not very easy. I don't know. Maybe I lift it up like this, you're going to see. Can my camera focus? You see the green and the red light? Yeah, the green light is telling you that the chip is under programming procedure. Yeah, the tweezer is trying. See, it's over. The green light has gone off, and so the programming is done. So guys, we are going to solder back that chip and see whether our motherboard will come back to life. So let's go back under the microscope. Yeah, this is our chip. Guys, take note of pin number 1. You may end up soldering this chip in the opposite direction, which is not good. So always take note of where the pin number 1 was and take back the chip the way it's supposed to be, or the way you removed it onto the motherboard. If you forget that, you might end up putting it in the opposite direction, and that's not good at all. That can damage your motherboard or the chip itself. And that will be a short circuit. A short circuit that can even short the PCH chip itself or the processor. Yeah, so let me come with some hot air. some hot air so that we solder back this chip and try to see whether we will have a picture. So we are soldering back the chip. Yeah, try to position the chip in an accurate way. Try to find a perfect position, a perfect spot, so that all the pin can have a firm grip onto the motherboard, and so that you can have an efficient flow of voltages from one side of the chip to the other. And I think we have a perfect grip onto the motherboard. So let me try to cool down this chip with some isopropyl alcohol. Yeah, isopropylic alcohol is a high volatile alcohol, and so when it's evaporating, it's leaving behind a very cool effect. Yeah, if you pour the alcohol on your hand and then blow it using your, you just use a little wind either from your mouth or from a fan, you'll feel the same effect as that one of the spirit. I don't know whether you ever poured a spirit on your hand and then the spirit is evaporating. That cooling effect is the same that happens on the motherboard when you pour the isopropylic alcohol. And so the chip cools down. It's not good to power on the motherboard when the chip is very hot, guys. So always wait for the chip to cool down so that you can power on the motherboard. Yeah, and so I think that is okay now. I should get a charger, or we don't need the power supply. Let's go directly to the motherboard. Let's go directly to the laptop and insert this motherboard and see whether we are going to have a picture. Yeah, you don't have to assemble the whole laptop for you to test, guys. What happens if the laptop is not working? Are you going again to re-unscrew the whole, or to deassemble again the whole laptop and then start working on it again? Just connect the most important things for testing, and only after you are sure that the laptop is okay, that you can go ahead to assemble back the laptop. So keep that in mind, it's very important. In this case, we have the screen connector, that is very important, the DC in jack, and also the fan. Remember, if the machine comes on, the processor will get hot and it will need something to cool it down, so the cooling system should be there. Otherwise, putting the processor on without the cooling system, you can burn the processor. Put it under the pressure of the heat. You can put it under the pressure of the heat and the processor can end up failing permanently or imminently. So now we put the screen connector so that we can test this laptop. Let's see whether we have the right firmware in the chip. This motherboard is usually not very easy to fix. They are a bit tough. The HP250, the G series, the HP250 G series, they have so much, a lot of problems have to do with the processors, the PCH, the graphic cards. Okay, let me be power on the motherboard and try to see whether we are going to have a picture. Yeah, yeah. As you can see, I told you, this is very okay. The laptop is back to normal. The laptop is working now. Yeah, and that is, guys, that is it. So I hope you have learned something from this video. Subscribe, guys. Click on the notification bell to be notified each and every time we upload a video. like and share, guys, and let me know what you think down in the comment section, guys. Leave a review, guys. Leave a comment. Let me try to know what you think on your side. Do you have better methods than the one I'm having? Definitely, what do you think about the whole video? What else can you add about? Let me know all that down in the comment section, guys. And that's all for today. We meet in the next video. Thank you so much, guys, and that's all for today. Bye.